Welcome back everyone, it's PWilhelm with another Diablo 3 Greater Rift pushing build. This version has to be played in the 14 meta. The 14 meta is the Barb, who groups everything together, the Monk who's healing everything, the Necromancer for the end build, well, end boss, and of course the Wizard. And in this video I'm gonna talk about the Wizard. So the Wizard is really hard in the 14 meta. Most of the people are using bots who do the rotation for them. We are not gonna use that because it's forbidden and it is called hacking, but I'm gonna explain you everything what you have to do, and at the end of this video you can practice this build and you'll learn the rotation really fast by yourself, and you can go up to Great Rift 150 with this build. But before you can do that, you want to make sure you have all the perfect gears, and that's already a really hard job to do. But if you really want to do that Great Rift 150, if you really want to have that feeling that you accomplished everything in Diablo 3, then you have to do it once. So for the gears, you are not allowed to use any set pieces, otherwise the new Legacy of Dreams gem doesn't work. For the belt, you want to use Fazula's Improbable Chain. This will give you 50 stacks when you turn on Archon form. The Swami, when Archon goes on cooldown, you still have the stacks for 20 seconds. Illusory Boots will help you to get out of problems because you can move through enemies. Ancient Pardon Defenders, monsters that are stunned will reduce your damage taken. Mantle of Channeling, I got a primal one. Since we are using Ray of Frost, this is gonna make sure that we have 25% less damage. It's also increasing your damage by just a little bit. Aquila Caress for the damage reduction. If we cast Star Pact, we will lose all our stacks, but at that moment you can, well, we are going to Archon form, so that's not a big issue. Swampland Warders, we only use this item because of the stat that will increase our elemental damage, and that's great. Halo of Carini for the 80% less damage. Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac will help us to get rid of the cooldown from Archon. For our weapon, we want to use Death Wish. While channeling Ray of Frost, the damage from our other skills will be increased by 300%. For our offhand, Etched Sigil, after we channel Ray of Frost, we will cast another skill, but also the damage of your mana spenders will be increased by 150%. For our necklace, we want to use Flavor of Time. Violence effect will be twice as long. We also want to use for our glowstone gauntlets. Those are the best options. Well, that is the best option. Because it will increase your armor by 50% when you get hit, but it reduces your attack speed, but in this build you don't really need that. For the gems, you want to use Topaz gems, and in your headgear you want to use a blue gem to make sure you have around 64% cooldown reduction. We want to use Zystone Vengeance, Bane of the Trap for the damage, and of course the new gem. So for Arcanized Cube, Grand Vizier, that will increase the damage. Wilfer's Boost will increase the damage of Meteor by 800%. And of course in this build we want to work with rotations, and one of those rotations will be the Conventions of Elements, and we want to cast our skills on arcane damage. Max out this one, then movement speed, then get around 800 lives, 700,000 I mean. 800,000 lives, and the rest goes into intelligence, and the more paragon points you have, the stronger you are. For the skills, Storm Armor Shocking Aspect, this will activate Halo of Carini and you'll get the 80% less damage. Ray of Frost, Cold Blood, we want to keep spamming this to reduce the cooldown on Archon. This is also activating your shoulders, weapon and offhand. You'll get a lot of damage increase, but also some damage reduction from your shoulders. Meteor Star Pact, this is our massive damage dealer. Legacy of Dreams will give us a lot of damage increase. Also the Grand Viziers in the Canized Cube and the stacks that we get with Ray of Frost and Wave of Force is gonna increase the damage of this skill. But it has a lot of cooldown time, and that's the reason why you want to cast this skill when your Conventions of Elements is on arcane damage. This build is all about rotations, and if you fuck up the rotations, you'll lose a lot of damage. For the next skill, we want to be using Wave of Force. Since your team is grouping a lot of monsters, you can just stand in the middle and cast this. This will give you a lot of stacks, and the more stacks you get, the more damage you will be dealing. I don't want to say too much about the next skill, Electrocute, because I don't know, but we will come back to this one later. The next skill will be Archon, Pure Power. This build is also focused around Archon because Archon will increase everything, but also the damage. And the more stacks you have, the more damage increase you'll get. For our passives, Arcane Dynamo, when we cast Electrocute, we will get 5 stacks, and after we have 5 stacks, we want to cast Start Pact, and this passive will give us 60% additional damage. Power Hungry for the 30% additional damage. Astral Presence increases the arcane power by 20. Evocation will give us a lot of cooldown reduction, which we need. So for the stat priorities, you want to focus on 65% cooldown reduction, critical chance, critical damage, arcane damage, and some area damage. So that means for your headgear, intelligence, vitality, critical damage. Shoulders, intelligence, vitality, area damage, cooldown reduction. For your armor, intelligence, vitality, armor. For your necklace, arcane damage, critical chance, critical damage. For your gloves, intelligence, critical chance, critical damage, area damage. For your belt, intelligence, vitality, life percent, and armor. Braces, arcane damage, intelligence, vitality, critical chance. Both of the rings, critical chance, critical damage, and cooldown reduction. For your pants, arcane damage, intelligence, vitality, armor. Weapon damage, intelligence, area damage, cooldown reduction, but you can also go for percent damage, but I think you need some area damage. For your boots, intelligence, vitality, movement speed, meteor damage. And for your offhand, intelligence, critical chance, area damage, cooldown reduction, meteor damage, and damage. So how to play this build? So when you get inside a Great Rift with your friends, you want to wait until Conventions of Elements is on lightning damage, then you want to activate Archon. You want to group everything together as much as possible. Your team will help you with doing that, and make sure you stay alive, by the way. So when your Archon goes on cooldown, you will be standing in the middle of a lot of monsters. You want to activate this skill. This will give you a lot of stacks, and each stack will increase your damage. And then you want to get 4 stacks on Electrocute. If you have 5 stacks, you will lose the Electrocute effect. Let me show you that right now. There we go, and it's gone. So you want to make sure you get 4 stacks. Then you can cast Ray of Frost to get rid of the cooldown from Archon. Then you want to cast another Electrocute. You want to cast Star Pact when your Conventions of Elements goes on arcane damage. And right after you cast Star Pact, you want to hit Electrocute again, and then you want to activate Archon directly. You got 1 second to press all those buttons, and that's pretty much it what you want to do. And when your Archon expires again, you have 1 rotation that you can cast a Star Pact without losing it. After that Star Pact, you want to use Ray of Frost to make sure you got no cooldown on any skills anymore. Then when it turns on arcane damage, you want to cast Star Pact again with 5 stacks of Electrocute and a lot of stacks of Wave of Force, and that's how you deal damage with the full rotation. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a comment, like and subscribe, turn on the notification, it's next to the subscribe button, and then I will see you in the next one. Peace.